Returning to the scene of the crime here, guys. Brought the skid loader over on Labor Day, and not 2 minutes into it, got attacked by a swarm of yellow jackets. So I bailed out of the machine and got about 10 stings across my body. And so now Dad is out here with the Kubota B3000 and the bush hog, and that's about where the swarm was, I think. So he's been digging that up and then also mowing down the cattails here. We're going to use the case 445 to dig a bigger pond here. So I've got the tooth bucket on it, the 1.5 yards. So hopefully here we're going to kill some wasps and then get to digging. So we got a real dry year here in Minnesota, and the water level is way down. The water table's, several feet underneath this. This, in wet years, this is, he wouldn't be driving where he is. So alright, so there goes the B3000. We're done mowing for the night. Got in the case here this evening after I took some vengeance out on the wasps. Let's see out here. Kind of mowed down. The bush hog is good for basically anything up to like 3-inch size trees. If you can mash it down, you can back over it. So this is kind of tree and willow debris, and then it gets out to just straight cattails, kind of beyond these trees, or what's left of them, habitat snags. But here's what we're using tonight. Got the case 445, got the Bobcat 84-inch heavy-duty tooth bucket on, got the Logering VTS track system, telling you guys, if you got a tire machine, you need to look into these. They're not exactly cheap, but it's a far cry from the price that you'd pay to trade in and trade up to something with tracks. These are 18 inches wide. This is a zigzag pattern. Just turns this thing into a mini bulldozer. So here's kind of where we started digging. I know the camera's not going to do this any justice, but this is kind of the old little pond here. It's really overgrown. This is what I dug when I was in high school, when my dad had an old Ford 1210 tractor, kind of like what Outdoors in the 608 has, actually. You can imagine that. So taking the tooth bucket here and just kind of clearing off the top 6 inches to a foot of thatch. This is generally wet in the springtime. So here's, we'll try and get a grade. So the case is sitting there up on grade, and we're probably down, let's see here. There we go. Here is probably down 2 or 3 feet, probably 2 feet. So we're just kind of piling that up for now. I'll wind up kind of moving some of this material, but the game plan here is basically where the pond kind of runs out, or where the cattails kind of disappear. So be like right on this line here. That's where we're going to backfill, going back to that. There's that borrow pit that we dug last fall with the Mini X. So I'm going to kind of backfill the material back to that point, scrape off this top layer. And what you can see here is we got all kinds of black dirt, peat moss. Here's the push piles here up against these trees. This is probably, these here are 3-4 feet high. I'll give you kind of a perception of what's going on here. So that's what we got cleared off so far. We probably got, that machine is 7 feet wide plus. I would say we got the first 30 feet or so cleared off on this end. And there's another, there's 7, 14, 21. There's probably another 60 feet, give or take, to clear over to those habitat snags. We talked about maybe pushing out a little bit further and mowing deeper into the cattails here. There's a few more trees and stuff, but the bush hog does a pretty good job of just kind of backing over it. This is as dry as this has been in quite a while, so yeah, that's going to be kind of the project here going forward. We'll still get to do some firewood and whatnot at our house, but in the spare time here, here's our kitty, one of the farm cats. Hey, you. She's real friendly. Yeah, aren't you, honey? Yeah, good kitty. So, anyhow, but that's kind of the capability of the 445. This has got a, 80 horse, I think 4-cylinder turbo diesel. So we did this clear off in probably 20-30 minutes, not hardly any time at all. We're just kind of goofing off and wanted to get into it and see how wet it was. So yeah, that's kind of what we're going to do today, or do going forward. Hey, Trouble. Hey. Quit. So, all right, guys, we'll catch you on the next one. Have a great day around the yard.